Hey, yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Daniel back again with another video. So today we're gonna be doing a mixing tutorial. After I make my beats, I'm gonna be showing you the process that I go through when I want to prepare it for mixing, and then we take it to the next stage, which is mastering. So I usually do it in three um, phases. The first phase is to do the leveling, and then the second phase is to do the EQing, and then the third phase is to do the processing, the effects and the compression and stuff. But before we do that, I would like to thank you guys for supporting me, keeping the channel growing, watching the videos and stuff. I really appreciate it. We're on our road to 1.5, so let's get it. 1.5. So if you're new here, this is what we do. We do music reactions, we do beats that I drop here and there, some free beats, and I also do tutorials on FL Studio. So if you like that kind of stuff, then you can consider subscribing. But if it's not your first time and you're still here in this moment, like bruh, just do the right thing and click that button. Anyway, without further more to do, let's get into the process of mixing and preparing for mastering. Oh yes, one other thing, this is gonna be a two-part video. The first part is gonna be the mixing part, where I'll show you this, preparing the mix and everything, and then the second part of the video is where I'll show you how to master that mix. So yeah, let's get into it. So today we're gonna be making on a beat that I remade. It's Burna Boy's Bona. So I removed everything that I had done to it. So today we're gonna be starting to mix it from scratch. So this is how I usually do it. First of all, I go to the drums, I highlight my drums, and you should find the busiest part of the beat so that you can have all the instruments in there, and then you can start working on it. So for now, I'm only going to be working on the drums. So let me put on my headphones. So this is the first part, the levels, where you're doing the levels, no mixing, nothing, just the levels. So you should locate all the drums first. And then secondly, you go to your mixer, because I've already sent everything to the mixer. So now what we do is we mute it, we mute everything. So now we just have the kick, and then we start with the kick, we go with the snare or the rim shot, whatever it is, until we get where we want. So I'm just going to try and do this as quick as possible. Hope you're watching and listening. So my kick, usually I like it to play around the -12, so that I give it headroom for when I master my song, because you don't want it to be too loud. Oh no, sorry, I'd forgotten to take out the mastering things that I'd used. So yeah, let's get back to the kick. And then next is the rim shot. I like my kick to be always louder than the rim shot, so yeah, that's why I put my rim shot a bit lower than the kick. So you should just make sure that everything is clear and it's balanced as well before you actually start panning it. So yeah. And some of the instruments are not actually on the original track. It's something that I just added to make it, you know, sound like way better, I think. There's something that's still a bit too loud. And before I get into the next phase, I would already like to create space with the drums, so we can also do the panning right now. So what I usually pan, like for example, the kick, I leave it by itself. It's already on mono. I like it that way. So the rim shot as well, those stay in the middle, and then everything else you can sort of play around with it so that you create space for all the keyboards and stuff. So you don't want to overdo it, so that's why I just did it a little bit. So yeah, we go to the next phase where we are now putting on the instruments. So in terms of the instruments, I would like to start with the bass, because usually the bass is the one that goes with the drums. So yeah, let's put on the bass. And be careful not to make some of these sounds loud, because when you master it, it's going to boost all those signals. So basically these are most of the instruments that I have there in the beat. Only the saxophone that's not playing here. But for now I would also want you to be careful with these transitions. Let me just highlight them, because people forget the transitions. So the transitions now, they have their own sounds and they might be too loud. So you just gotta be careful with that one. So let me get the transitions in. The transitions also come with the saxophone. So if you play. Okay, let's listen to it with the whole beat. So let's continue. So now everything is balanced. I've did the panning, I did the leveling. So now we go to the phase 2 of the mixing. Now when you get to clean up or the whole mix with the EQ and stuff. So let's get into it. And as usual, when it comes to the mixing part, I start with a kick as well, just to clear out the kick. So let's get into the kick. If you see maybe I have this already loaded, it's because I'm having issues with my recorder. When I have my recorder on, I cannot load external VSTs. So I have most of some of the VSTs that I need to use already loaded in the system. So yeah, I'm sorry for that one. But yeah, let's get into the mixing, the kick. So I'm going to turn off the compressor that I had on the kick anyway. So same story, but now here we just go here and we highlight the part that I want, and then you mute, and then now you deal with the kick by itself. So the kick, I don't want the hi-hat on it because it already comes with a hi-hat. So first thing is first, I'm going to put a low pass filter, and then I'm going to bring it back because I'm interested in the sub of the kick. So basically I'm not going to really touch anything here because it's playing maybe around -40 there, which is perfectly fine, because when the sub comes in, the sub plays around those -40 frequencies, the sub bass. So I like it to be a little bit punchy, so I'll add a little bit, and here as well. So I don't do too much to the kick, that's about it. And then we go to the next phase where I use the blood drive. The blood drive just kind of like pushes the beat, the kick, to make it more feeling. So you put on your preamp, and then you add the color, but you don't want to put too much because it'll be too much, it'll be too hard hitting. Some of these songs, like for example Burna Boy, doesn't really use those hardcore drums, he just uses those, good chill drums. So be careful of overdoing it. So yeah, next we just turn on this is the compressor that I have. The compressor is basically part of the processing, so I'll show you part of the processing when it comes. So for now I'll just leave it like this with the EQ. As for this one, I already like the way it sounds. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut low frequencies. You don't want to overcut because it will sound weird. So you want to cut at least around here. You should use your ear as well. Use your ear to hear, okay, this is clean, this is good, and it sounds realistic. So yeah. As for these things, like some of them, I use this EQ that comes with the Fruity Loops already, so that I can prevent too much processing. If I didn't bounce my stuff, if you bounce your stuff, then you can use EQ all over the thing. But if you didn't bounce it and you want to prevent having too many processes, and you just want to swipe and cut the high frequencies, you can use this EQ. It's very effective, but you should be careful with it. So it already cuts up to 90 Hz here. And then if you want to add a little bit more, just to soup it, and then you add it. some of these sounds, you have to be careful with them. You should also just cut it, because some of them, they're humming sounds, especially if you download sounds that come from, like, let's say you go on YouTube or you go on Google and just to download sounds, some of them are humming sounds, you might not hear it here, so it's better for you just to clean it up, at least with the 90 hertz. Yes, for this one as well, but I'm going to cut it a little bit more because I like the highs more. Yeah. So the Paramedic EQ, I'll use it when I want to cut on specific stuff as well, because this one will not allow you to really do that easily, but this one, the Paramedic will allow you to do it easily. As for this one now, I'm going to use the Paramedic because I want some parts of it to be highlighted and some parts of it to be gone. So as usual, I'll start to cut this part, remove all the lows, and then when I remove all the lows, I don't want the mid part, this part, and these high parts as well. And I want it to slap, so I'm going to add here. Here it will slap, you hear that? So yeah, I add that part. And some of it, if you increase, it will increase the volume of the instrument. So sometimes just to keep it in the mix, you should reduce it a little bit. If you cut too much, then you can increase it as well. This one I kind of like the way it sounds by itself, but let me just be careful and yeah, just clean it. Oh, and this one as well. So not forgetting those transitions as well, because you also need to mix those. Most of them are around here. So I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. Okay. This one I might need some of the parts to slap, so I need to use the Paramedic EQ as well. So after that, now we're done with the percussions, the mixing part. Now we're going to the cleaning part, I mean. Now we're going to the instruments, instrument by instrument. So I'm going to remove some of the processing that I already put in it. So yeah. And then we go to the EQ. So when it comes to bass, it's sort of like now, because I already removed some frequencies from the kick, now I can play with the bass clearly. So the bass also, this one I like to remove the mids, make it more quiet in the mid, and also bring out a little bit of the snap, and the most important part is the subs. You can hear now it kind of just sits perfectly on top of the kick, so that's what you want. And then we go to the keys. And with the keys, usually I just cut the low frequencies. Let's do a sharp cut. And then I also like to cut the high frequencies and do another sharp cut. So we just have the, kind of creates that soft sound. As for this one, I also like to just cut and clean it. I like the peak to be out, so I also raise a little bit of the highs around here. This one is a basic cut. This one in the original mix that I had already done, I didn't cut anything because I like the way it sounds already. Sounds perfect the way it is. So I think we've mixed pretty much everything. Now we go to the third phase. The third phase is when you are now putting on the effects and stuff. Sometimes people you can group some of the things and compress them together, but for me, like, sometimes I don't feel I need to do that. I can just compress. Maybe if I want to compress the kick, I compress it by itself. If I want to compress the bass, I compress it by itself, or any other instrument. So it just depends on what you like. But for me, normally, like if I have too many percussions, yeah, and then I have to like compress them together and then sort of put them so that they sound like all together, glued up. So today I'm not really gonna do that. I'm just gonna do like some basic processing, putting on the reverb, putting on the delay and whatnot. So let's get into that. So in terms of the processing, usually the drums, the drum kick, it also is I use so for the drum kick I use the mono compressor, because drums usually play in mono, so that's why I always use mono compressor. So this one is from Waves, so I'm gonna turn it on. So I don't really put that much knee on it so that it's really hitting, because like what I said, you just need it to be a little bit compressed, be controlled. So that's what I use it for. So as you can see, it's overlapping, but then the compression that I did, it's overlapping. So the compression that I did is just kind of like bringing it back to the normal place. So yeah, and you see the volume also goes up when you do compression. Now we go to the guitar. So guitar I use CLA. It comes with Waves as well. This one I don't even touch anything. Basically this is the setup that it comes with. The moment you just turn it on, and I like it that way. What I might add is the controller, because I want a bit of room into the sound. So, but the controller is dangerous, so you should reduce it, all of it, and add a little bit. Just like that. And then next we go to the bass. The bass sounds good the way it is, So most of the time I just want to add the mono compressor as well, because the bass plays in mono. So let's get into that. You can hear it sounds different already. So the bass, I put a little bit of knee on it here so that it doesn't really go wild. So the compression, you can see what it's removing. And I also put slow release, so that's why you see it's releasing very slow here, so that it controls the sound. And it can sit nicely on top of the key. And then the compressor on the keys, I put it on I put it on stereo, because it is stereo sound, you can hear from both sides. So this one I also don't put that much compression, but I just want it to sound, together. Yeah. So you can see it's not doing much, it's just doing a little bit of processing. Yeah. You don't want to compress your music, because it will sound very weird. Okay, where's the next instrument that we need? Okay, I think all the instrument that needs processing, we've already done the processing. So let's listen to the whole track. Oh, no, I forgot. There's percussion that needs processing. The transition percussion, this one. Because there's some of it that is reverb. So let's get this and highlight this. This definitely needs the convolver. So it was already there. So let's listen to it. It just creates that sound. So I think that's the only one that needs processing on everything. So let's listen back to it from the start. And like when you listen back to it now, you're just checking, okay, is everything in levels? So you can do the minor adjustments. And then after this, you'll be ready for the mastering part. So let's just listen back to it. Okay, in that I already hear there is a tom that's very loud. This tom, yes, as you can see, I didn't even touch it. So it's always good to go back and listen to the whole mix so that you find out what you have left. So you also just cut the 90 and then just add a little bit. Yeah, it's fine the way it is now. So let's go back. Yes, and that bass as well, because there are two basses, this one. So this one now, when I played it, I didn't need to edit the bass, because it was just good the way it sounded. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Just play with the levels. Let it blend into the mix. Just like that. Most of these sounds, we didn't get to check them. Yeah. So this one, I'll add the convolver. And also cut. So you also need to add the convolver here as well, so that you just bring that ambience. So let's listen back to the whole thing now. Make sure everything is leveled. Body. Hey. Hey, hey. Don't be afraid to do adjustments whilst the beat is playing. Totally fine. And then I definitely know there's a part that I added extra pegs here, and these are the pegs. I think they might be loud. Yeah, these ones. So let's listen to that. Perfect. Just make sure everything is clean. Okay, maybe we need to add more keys. The last button on this that I didn't listen to is this part. So let's just listen to these things, then we can conclude. Sounds perfect. It's one of the pegs, yeah. So as you can see, the whole mix is still giving me headroom so that I can master playing around here. Because when you master, you need to get to 0 dBs, so it's perfect the way it is now. It's clean and everything is good. So yeah. So I think we are done here. So thank you guys for watching. This is basically what I do when I'm mixing my tracks. So if there's anything that you need me to explain a little bit more, please do let me know. Until the next video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on the part 2 when we do the mastering. Yeah, yeah, yeah.